This
Screen is
conference will
visible to
now
all
be
of you.
recorded.
Please give me a quick confirmation in the chat box that I am proper audible to all of you. Am I proper audible to all of you? Can you? Fine, 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 fine. Okay, so let us start our meeting by my introduction. As I said that my name is Samanpreet Singh and I am an experienced and a certified data analytics trainer. Fine. Now I am working, if I'm talking about my experience, I am working in this same domain, data analytics, from the last 5 years. Fine. As a trainer, I had give a very much of the guest session in n numbers of the colleges. I had also trained n number of the experienced sponsors so that they can move into they can shift out their career in this domain. Fine. This is about me. So let us discuss about the agenda of today. Like in our meeting, in our today demo, what is going to be covered out here? Fine. Here, from the starting about the need of the data analytics. Here we all are gathered for the data analytics concept here to understand the depth of our data analytics. And so before starting all about the data analytics, firstly we will discuss about the need of the data analytics. After that, we are going to start with our introduction to the data analytics, what a basically data analytics is. Now, then we are also going to mention out the roles and the responsibility of a data analyst. Data analyst here, it was not a data analytics by mistake. It mentioned as a data analytics, but the roles and the responsibilities of a data analyst. The domain is our post of a candidate will be data analyst, but the domain is known as our data analytics. Then after then we are going to discuss about the skills that is used, that is going to be required for the data analyst. Fine, to be a data analyst. And at the last we are going to discuss a one use case which totally represent what is the need of the data analytics, what a role of a data analyst, like what type of the roles, what is going to be, what type of the task that has to perform by a data analyst. Fine. So let us start with the why data analytics is important. Why data analytics is important. Fine. We all know in a present time we all are basically we all are living in a data world. We all are living in a data world. Fine. Data world in the sense of around us we have a huge numbers of data, huge amount of the data we have. Starting from like we can say out uh, hitting type any type of the URL, searching from the Google or developing something, developing creating some of the accounts. Either you are searching something or anything, you are working with your web, directly or indirectly you are creating some of the data, you are creating some of the data, and that data is going to be stored somewhere. Basically we have a different sources where all the information is going to be stored out. Let us take an example. We are using facebook.com or any social media. We have to provide our information to them. Fine. Such as our age, each and everything, name, male, sorry, gender, each and everything we are providing. That means we are basically generating a data. Directly or indirectly, we are generating a data here. So in the present time, we are living in a data world. In the present time, we are living in a data world. So around us, we have a huge number of data, a huge amount of the data. So basically, the need, what is the need of data analytics in this data set here? To find out inside, to get out the meaningful information from the data set here, to find out the meaningful information of a data set. To understand this concept, let us suppose I am using out one example. Let us suppose any bank, ABC Bank, collect out the data, like they are providing some loan data. Any bank get out a loan data, which consists of the name of the person who get out the loan, age of the person, fine, for which purpose they are getting from, for which purpose they are taking out the loan, fine, and many more information they also collect out. By that data, they have to get out the insight. They have to get out the meaningful information from the data set here, such as like what is the average age, what is the age, average age, average age of the persons who are getting out the loans from our bank, so that they got a meaningful information, so that they can make some of the business on that. They got a basically we can say out uh, They for increasing out their business, they got the people on which they can do marketing. Like average age is something like from 25 to 30. So they got their target that the more and more market they have to spend on these age of the people, because according to our historical data, we get to know that most of the people which belong to 20 to 30 years, they are taking more and more loan from our bank to grow, expand our business. That is need of the data analytics, that we have to perform some of the analytical function, analytical concept on our data to get out the insight from our data set here. And here you can see how to grow out your business. Fine. So this is the need of the analysis. Why we need some of the analysis. Fine. So what are basically data analytics is? According to our last definition of the need of the data analytics, by this I hope you all got out the concept that, as the word suggests, data analytics is nothing that it refer to the technique. Data analytics is a technique to analyze the data to enhance the productivity and the business gain. That means to analyze the data, to get out the insight from the data, to get out the meaningful information from the data, fine, to increase our productivity and a business gain. Data is extracted from the different from the various sources, like uh, basically if I'm taking out an example of a different platforms such as a Facebook, such as a Instagram, the sources are different. That means sources in the sense of like where we are going to store our information, where we are storing out our data here. So source can be any 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 can be source here, and then it is going to be cleaned. Fine. In our use case, I will also discuss about what is the need of the cleansing process, and we have to categorize it, and after then we have to analyze, we have to get out the insight from our data set here. This is our data analytics. These are some of the roles and the responsibilities of a data analyst. Like if you are working as a data analyst, you have to know basically, let us suppose I hired you, and for my own purpose, like for my data analyst post, and I am giving you one data set that hey, my candidate, I want this is my data, and I want this much of the concept from this one data set here. Fine. So you have to determine the organization goal. You have to check out. You have to get out the proper concept, that what in the end what you have to actually do. What type of the answer you have to give out of what type of the questions here. Fine. Another thing, get insight from the data set here, to get out the proper information from the data set here. Let us suppose get insight from the data set means, let us suppose uh, you want to I am giving you a data set. I am giving you a data set which consists of the information of the people. It consists of the name of the people. It consists of the experience of a person. It consists of a salary of the person. It consists of a height of a person. It consists of educational qualification of a person. It consists of a number of teeth of the person. It consists of the height of the person. Fine. Now, this is a very much simple data set. Fine. As we know that salary is dependent upon qualification, educational qualification, and experience, number of year of experience. Fine. Height is not so much related in our salary. Fine. Again, name is also not dependent to the salary. Number of teeth, again, it is not going to be dependent upon the salary. Salary doesn't depend upon these three. Fine. So we have to know out from the data that with the increase of the year of experience, our salary is going to be increased out. This is how I am getting out the insight from the data set, because you are not a domain expertise. You are not a domain expert basically. You can get out the data of anything, such as you can get out the data of the telecom industry. You can get out the data of the healthcare industry. Fine. So you don't belong to that domain. So to get out the insight from the data set is a one of the major role we can say out. Then data cleansing or get data cleaning. Always in a real scenario, always in a real scenario, we got a dirty data set. We got a dirty data set here. So always to before starting our analyzing and some of the filtration process on our data set here, firstly we have to clean it. Fine. Then analyze and interpret the data. Analyze and interpret the data. Analyze something, like we have to perform some of the analytical concept here. Like if I want to get out like this much of the person, this much of age of year, average age getting this much of the salaries here. Fine. So this is something like analysis on our data set here. Provide data report and a data visualization. Data visualization is something like to plot out the graph, to plot out my data or whatever I had find out from my data into my graphs here, so that let us suppose I am a team leader and I am providing you data, the same data, salary data. You have to predict out the salary trend on number of years of experience, how the salary is going to be increased out. Now you have to create a proper report in this one. And this is not so much fine that you are providing the data in the CSV or the Excel format. Fine. Always you have to plot some of the graphs, you have to plot some of the charts here. Fine. So at the end you have to give out the report on a by the visualization technique. So you have to use out the visualization technique to create a charts and plot out your data into this one. Somehow design, create and maintain a database. That is a somehow important concept we can see out. As I said, that source can be anything. Source can be anything. So data analyst must have a knowledge about how to create, how to design and how to maintain a database, because sometime we are getting our data from the this database. This is our data source from which we are getting out our data here. So this is how you can see out our first step is that we are collecting our data, analyzing it, and then we are creating a report here. Here you can see out this type of the concept we can see out here. Now to be a data analyst, you have to first somehow knowledge about the statics you have to know. Then data cleansing and a manipulation concept will be there. Visualization concept, that means our plotting out the data. Knowledge of a data sources like DBMS knowledge, that is must. Fine. Now our course content, I am going to work on this course content after a use case. Fine. Let us discuss firstly about the use case here. Fine. Let me share out my screen once again. I hope my screen is proper visible. Fine. Now I am going to discuss a use case, a very much use case and a real scenario use case of the data analytics in uh, in our today demo session here. You can see out this is my official website covid19india.org, which consists of all the data of our COVID. Fine, all the information about our data. That this is our confirmed case till now, till today. This one here, 7:40 p.m. IST till today, 11 July. Fine, this much of the cases are active. These are recovered, and these are like we can say out of death cases in our India. Only and only India. I am going to be taking out the use case of only and only India, so that we have some of the fine understanding about the data set here. These are some of the states. Fine. These are some of the numbers. Fine. These are some of the numbers we are getting out here. C for confirmed, A for active, R for recovered, and D for death. This is about the Haryana, Maharashtra, any state you can give out, and this is about on a 14 June, 13 June, this much of the cases are there. This is a visualization. This type of the graphs we can see out of visualization techniques with this. Fine. Now I got out this data set. This is our live shown our data set here. Now if I want to get out this data set, I have to click on this database here, this icon, database icon. So basically, whenever you are going to the database icon, it provides us a data on our in the API format. And here we can see out we have eight APIs are there from starting up to 19th April. And after 19th, this consists of the data from after 19 to 26. This will be from 26 to 9th May. This is our 9th May to 23rd May. This will 24th May to 4th June. 5th June to 19th June, 20th June to 30th June, and from 30th June to 7th of the July. This is how I have a data in a different APIs. Now, the fine way is that here you can see out they are also providing us a data inside our CSV format. They are also providing our data in our CSV format. And here you can see out if I'm going to hit out this URL, here you can see out we have something like a n inside our parenthesis. N represent this one here. That inside our n we can mention out data 1, data 2, data 3, data 4, data 5. Let us suppose I'm hitting out that URL inside this one n here. I'm saying out 1. So here you can see out a CSV of a data 1 is going to be downloaded. Now you can also download the data by one, data 1, data 2, data 3, data 4, data 5, data 6. Fine. Or either you can pick out the data live here from this one here. Now what I had did out, you can see out, I hope my screen is proper visible. To work on this data set here, to work on this COVID data set here, what I want to do is I have to work some of the I have to basically the main we can say out the roles, basically main skill that is required to be a data analyst, that you have a knowledge of any one programming language. You can pick out either Python, either R, which is considered as the most trending one is our in our present time to deal with our data. With a Python or R, you can move in any domain, either data analytics, data science, data machine learning, deep learning, and numbers of cases we have. Now, to work on a Python, and if you want to work on this COVID dataset here, I had introduced some of the concept of the Python. Basically, I am handling out this data with our Python to get out the insights from our dataset here. Now I am executing this code because whenever I want to work on a data, this much of the codes are needed inside of a Python here. Fine. Now I am saying out, this is how I am getting out the data. Here you can see out I'm getting out the data from the API. Right now I'm not using this concept here because if I'm getting out the data live, it will take some of the time. Fine, because the data length is somehow huge. So I had already downloaded the data, and I had downloaded all the files. I had downloaded all the files here. Fine. So I am passing out, this will be my data 2, this will be my data 3. Fine. So in the same way, this is my data 1, which consists of my data first date, this one here. You can see out this one, from starting to April 19. Fine. So this is going to be stored into a data 1 here. Now, in the same way, I got out the data from all the pages, 8 pages, data 2, data 3, data 4, data 5, data 6. Now I want to get out the information about the data. So firstly, I'm picking out information from the one page, from this one here, about this one. We can see out this one, from starting date up to 19th of the April. Now I'm going to hitting out this concept that I want to check out the information. You can see out, it says that the data set consists of the 21 columns, and the records are there. That means 17,364 from the date of starting something like 1 of the January up to April 19. We have something the data of 17,364. Fine, this much of the length of the data, and the index starts from 0 to 17,363. Fine. And here you can see out there are 21 columns. There are 21 columns. Let me show out this data set here, and let me finally explain out what are basically this represent here. Fine, how our data look like. It says out, these are the list of the columns. These are some of the list of the column. This one here, that patient number, state patient number, date announced, estimate onset, age bracket, gender, detected city, detected district, detected state. Fine. Now our this also says out, from 17,364 we have 17,306 null values. 17,306 as a null value. That means this much we can say out, uh, we can say out our out of 17,364 minus the patient number, we have 17,306, we have 58 missing value. That means 58 missing values are there in this column. In the same way, there are something like 24, 57 not null. That means these much of the values we have inside our data set. Fine. So this is same in each and every data file here. Fine. Now I want to check out the column. Here. Here you can see out, this is a column name, patient number, state, patient number, date announced, and here you can see out num cases. In the same way, I want to check out the column of the data 2. I want to check out the column of the data 2. That is totally same. You can see out, I am saying out data 3. Fine. Here you can see out, this is different, entry ID. Instead of a patient number, there is something like a entry ID, and inside this one you can see out num cases. In this one, C is capital. This much of the concept we are getting. This is for data 3. I am passing out data 4. You can see out, this is totally same as. Fine. Data 5. Fine. That this is same for data 5 as well. Data 6, same, fine. Data 7, same. Then we have a data 8, fine. Now we can see out that we have the two files, data 1 and data 2, which have some of the different column names, as compared to other data sets. So here, what we have to do is we have to match all the columns. We have to match all the columns here. So there is no need of the entry ID, so I am going to skip out this one, and I am going to change out here. I hope you remember in the first two data files, data 1 and data 2, there was C is something like a small. But in this one here, C is capital. So I am preparing my data. Basically, I am preparing my data for the real scenario. Fine. Basically, this type of the process is known as a cleansing process, that I am cleaning my data set here. So this is going to be replaced to this one here. On which file? Data 1 and data 2. Fine. So this is how you can replace out here. Fine. Now, what I want to do is I am picking out some of the necessary column. I am picking out some of the necessary column. Here I had also discussed with the one example that if we have a data which is something consists of the name of the person, salary of the person, experience of the person, height of the person, educational qualification of the person. If I want to get about the salary of the person, name is not going to be required, height is also not going to be required, number of teeth is also not going to be required. The main thing that required is that how much year of experience a person has, what is the educational qualification of the person here. So here I had picked out all the files here: data 1, data 2, data 3, data 4, data 5, data 6, data 7, data 8. This much of the columns I want, I had mentioned out this one here. This much of the columns I had. Now I'm going to execute this one. Now I have data 1, data 2, different 8 files are there. Now, to work on this data set here, I am going to be concatenating. I am going to be merging out this whole data set. Basically, I am going to combining this whole files here into one file. So I had picked out a name as a data in which all my files are going to be added out here. Now I want to check out the information of this data, and here you can see out now the total length of my data is 1,45,859 cases up till today 7:40 p.m. This is our live data till 7:40 p.m. today. Fine. Now there is something like this much of the columns I had picked out. This much of the column I had picked out. Number of cases, date announced, age brackets, gender, detected city, detected district, detected state, current status. Current status like a person is hospitalized. We can say out, or a person is confirmed, hospitalized, recovered, or deceased. Deceased means death. Fine. So here, this much of the information we have. Now, here inside our date announce, date announce consists of in format something like a day, month, and year. But I want to split out my data in three different columns, which consist of my day, month, and year. And now you can see out after this one, if I'm going to check out the information about my data, I got some of the more column name as a day, month, and year. Basically, I split out this date of announce into day. Another day is going to be stored into day column, month is going to be stored into month column, year is going to be stored into a month year column. This is some of the data type of the uh, our column here, like that which type of this data belong to. Fine. Now what I want to do is I want to store out this data into another CSV file. I want to store out this data into another CSV file, so that I get all the data. Fine, not the different files. I want whole get data. After cleaning, we have to store out the clean data in another file. Fine. This is fine, you can see out. Now I am going to read out the new file that I had created. Fine, you can see out, that is fine. Now if I want to check out the column, you can see out we have something like a unnamed 0. That means that while creating a new CSV file and while reading out that CSV file, it is picking up the index as well. It is picking up the index of the file as well. So we have to remove out this file. And by removing I am file by this concept here. This is totally the code I had mentioned out in the Python. I hope so. You all belong to somehow. If someone has a knowledge of the Python, he can read out the code. That is fine. But if someone has not any experience in any language, and if I'm going to explain out this concept, this is something I skipping out from mine. That is why I am not explaining the concept that what how I am writing the code. The thing just I am explaining the need of the data analytics. That what are the steps at the end you have to perform out here. Fine. Now I want to check out the information. This is just a use case where our data analytics is going to be used out here. Fine. Now I had something like a 11 column, but in the last we have something like a 12 column here. So we had to remove out this one here. Fine. After this, let us suppose I want to check out some of the null values. Null value is something like in our in our data we got some of the empty, we got some of the null values. Null values are that which is not available inside our data set. Here let me show you with an example that the data or the values are that which is not available inside this a csv is created. This is a new csv created. Fine. uh, Let us see out the csv file. Here you can see out this is not available. This is known as a null. Fine. You can see out this is some of my CSV. This is not available. This is going to be considered as a null. This is going to be considered as a null. Fine. I hope you got out the concept. Now, I want to check out that which column has how much null values. Which column has a how much null value, and I am going to be sorting it on a descending order because if a column has a huge null value, that is going to be stored as a 1. Here you can see out. Detected city has this much of the null values. Age bracket has this much of the null values. That means missing values. Fine. This one has this one. If I want to check out the percentage, that which column has how much, what is the percentage of this one here? You can see out detected city consists of 92% of the null value. That means 92% of data is not available for the detected city. It is a missing value. It is a missing value. Age bracket 58% of the data is missing. That means 42%, 41 point something data is present, but in whole data set 58 point something data is missing. Fine. Then I want to check out how much cases are there. How much cases are there in the month wise? By month wise, basically. By month wise, how much data are how much things are there? Sorry. Here you can see out we are getting in a 1 month, in the first month that is Jan, we got a 1. In the second month we got a 2 cases. In the 1635 cases. In the fourth this much of the cases. In the fifth this much of the cases. Sixth this much of the cases. Seventh this much of the cases. Now the thing that you have to note down in this what we have analyzed, that we have analyzed by the month number of cases. Fine. Number of cases consists of the person who is hospitalized. Fine. Number of person which consists of something who is hospitalized, who is recovered, who is dead. All the data it consists of inside this one here. But my requirement is that I want to check out, I want to analyze, I want to get out that by the month wise how much people are hospitalized till now, that how much cases are active now. Fine. So here you got out in the month 3 this much of the person right now they are hospitalized, this much of the people are right now they are hospitalized. Fine. And if I want to plot out a graph, if I want to create a report on this one here, so you can see out this much of the people in the fourth month are hospitalized, this much of the people in the fifth month is hospitalized, this much of the people is hospitalized in the sixth month, and this much of the people is hospitalized in the seventh month here. Fine. Now here up to seventh month, up to till today 7:40 p.m. this much of the data is available in the seventh month. Now I want to check out how much males are affected, how much females are infected by the coronavirus. So here you can see out this is something like a double males. The males are more infected as compared to females. Fine. Here you can see out this much of the females are there inside of infected people, this much of the males are there. Now I want to fetch out that which age group is most affected, which age group is most affected here. So here you can see out I had sorted in the form of the descending, that most often most of the people which belong to age 30, he is mostly infected. People age belong to a 40, this much of the people are there. 25, this much of the people. Count basically that most of on the highest age we can see out, that is my 30. Then 40, then 25, 35, 32. Fine. Now I want to plot out this one here, and here you can see how this is how it seems, how this much of the 30th, this much of the 40, this much of the 25, 35, 32, 45, 24, 28, 27, and 26. I had picked out only 10 records. For plotting out, I had only picked out the 10 records. But if I'm going to plot all, you can also plot it all the ages here. There is not an issue. Fine. Now I want to check out by the state wise in India, what is how much cases are there by state wise? How much cases are there? Here you can see out. Andaman and Nicobar consists of this one. Andhra Pradesh consists of this much of the cases. Arunachal Pradesh consists of this one here. Chandigarh consists of this one here. Fine. So this is a list of the states available inside our India. Punjab consists of this one here, 6747. Now here, mm, what I want to check out. Let me explain out one thing more. Here you can see out. Here you can see out. In the seventh month, my total active cases are 15,000. 1 lakh. We can see out how 1,57,701. This much of the cases. You can also count down. I am saying out. I want to check out of India, not all the state. I want to check out the India. You can see out. This was basically I want to start from the July. Let me open my calculator here so that I can calculate how much are there. I am saying out. mm, this will be in my let me check out here. First July, that is my 7695 plus. This was my first July 7695. Second we got 7849 plus. This was my 3 July, that is 8019 plus. 4th July I got 8246 plus 8429 plus. I am getting out 8675 plus. I am getting out 8931. Sorry, this is about Jammu Kashmir. I want to get out about the India here. Fine, I got totally. I that was my mistake. Fine, let me open out my calculator here. Fine, I want to calculate from the India here. This is for my first July, that is 605221. 605221 plus 627. 627 plus. Sorry, 627168 plus 649649 plus. Sorry, 886 plus. This is my this one here, 673 then 904 plus 697 plus. We are getting up to 6 guys, that is 72346 72346 plus 743 and 491 of the cases in the 7th July. And in the 8th July we got a 769 and 052 plus this one here up to 9 July, that is our 794842 plus up to 10 July, that is my 822604. Fine. And let me check out this much of the concept. Here we got this much of the concept, this much of the count here. It doesn't consist of something like on 11th July. It doesn't, this graph doesn't consist of the date of the 11th July here. Fine. So here you can see out in our data set, we have something like this much of the number total cases. That is totally we can see out this one. Fine. Now this was something like age we had already mentioned. We had mentioned out according to the state wise. And if I want to plot out, and here you can see out the concept according to the state. Maharashtra belonging to as a first. The my here I got out an insight that in my chart Maharashtra ranking at 1, that most of the patients belong to Maharashtra. Then Tamil Nadu, Delhi, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka. So this is a range basically. This is a we can see out by the number. Fine. Then we have something like that how much people are hospitalized on a basis of the month and city here. Fine, here you can see out. On a third month, this date, on this month, this date, this much of people are hospitalized. In this date, this much of the hospitalized. In this seventh month, this much of the people are hospitalized. Fine. Now, if I want to plot out this graph, if I want to plot out, and here you can see out, we got a graph. This is for the third month. This is for about the fourth month, fifth month, sixth month, seventh month. Fine. So this is how we can get out the range. That in the third month, this much of the cases are there on a first date. On a fourth month, there are 500 cases. On the fifth month, we have 2,500 cases. On the sixth month, we have 10,000 of the cases. But on the first of the seventh month, we have 20,000 of the cases. By the mathematical concept, we can calculate that how this number is going to be increasing, by which factor this number is increasing here. Fine. So we can get to know we can also predict out the future as well, that at the first of the August, what will be the number, of the cases will be there. So this is about our today's session here. Now let us discuss our course content. Let us discuss about the course content, that in our training what is going to be covered out here. Firstly, we are going to be, this is our course content. Now the thing is that I had created out my course content of our training with our Exolearn. I had created this my course content in such a way that is going to be very much beneficial to you. As according to my 5 year of experience and according to the JD. JD is something like a job description. Which says that whenever an organization is going to be hire a candidate, they had mentioned out some of the JD, like a job description, that a candidate must have to know this much of the concepts. Fine. According to that JD and according to my own personal experience, I had created out this course content that if a candidate who is going to be applying for a job, this much of the concept, he is on a tips, here. Fine. So I can share out the course content that firstly our data analysis with the MySQL is going to be work out, because we have to know about the sources. Then we are going to start with our Python, because the Python is the most trending language for this our domain here, for this data analyst domain here. Now note the whole Python is going to be covered, because Python has n numbers of application. Only that much of the Python is going to be covered which is needed for our data analytics here. This much of the Python is sufficient for you. After this, we are going to start to working on the data analysis libraries for the Python, like how to deal with our data with Python. Fine. This much of NumPy will be there, Pandas will be there. Then we are start working on a data visualization, how to plot out the graph, how to plot out the charts with our Python here. Now, uh, always let us suppose after this data analytics experience, you are moving in the domain of the data science. Always these are your prerequisites. Now, the most important concept that I had mentioned out, that there will be an assignment on each and every section in our training part, because whenever a person want to learn something, he has to perform. He basically uh, when a person want to perform something or learn something, that totally depend upon the candidate. It's totally depend upon the candidate that how much time he is consuming to the concept. And whenever he is writing by your own, whenever he is performing something by his own, only then he will be able to proper understand the concept. And this is a need of the assignment. So I had mentioned out there will be assignment on each and every section. Let us suppose in our today we have discussed this much of the concept. In our today session we have, let us suppose, fine, so you got an assignment on this much of the concept. After a week, let us suppose this much of concept is completed in a week. So you at the end of the week you will got on a major assignment which is going to be covered the whole part, which totally makes sense that you are proper able to work on a real scenario. You will be proper able to understand which type of the concept is going to be needed at which time. Find the total requirement you got out here. Hands-on experience I had mentioned out because in this code, in this our demo session here, each and everything is written. Each and everything is written because you this is totally going to be skipped out from your mind, because if you have a knowledge of the Python, you don't have a knowledge about the concept here. That is how I didn't explain it. In our training part, nothing is going to be pre-written. In our training part, nothing is our pre-written. Each and everything I am going to write in the front of you. Each and everything I am going to write in a front of you here. Fine. Then interview questions are also going to be discussed. Interview question are also going to be discussed. Let us suppose we had discussed this one, and if there are two or three question interview that is most often is going to be asked in the interviews, we are also going to discuss in our training part as well. After this, I am proper sure that by this content you can easily crack out the interview here. Fine. So this was about the course content that I had created a very much fine course content here. Now, if someone has any query, if someone has, they can ask me here. Anyone has any query? Anyone has any query?